While the United States narrowly avoided intervention in Syria, the conflict goes on and it has gotten increasingly bloody, increasingly ruthless. The most recent incident is that the rebels in Syria mistakenly beheaded a fellow rebel. Disaster. Literally. Use your heads, guys. Come on. No, that's awful. But no, really, they believed that he was a pro-government fighter. The reason they give for that is that Mohammed, this is the actual guy who was killed, Faris apparently shouted the names of two revered figures in Shiite Islam when he arrived wounded in a makeshift hospital, prompting the overwhelmingly Sunni opposition, the rebels, to assume he was a government fighter. And so obviously they had to cut off his head. I know that I'm sort of making light of this, but this is the only way I can approach this absolutely insane, irrational situation that we have going on over there. Now, I understand that both sides are absolutely barbaric, but the way that they conduct themselves, thank God we are not involved. Thank God that we're at least stripping the government of its chemical weapons and not having to go in on the ground, because our soldiers would be exposed to this sort of thing. So yes, they cut off the guy's head. Now, these videos have been going around showing people holding up heads. We don't know if it was exactly his, but similar things have been going on. One of the jihadis in one of these videos said, if they, al-Assad's army, enter, they will not distinguish between supporters and opponents. I swear they will rape the men before the women. For all I know, that might well be true, but look at the way they're trying to scare their fellow fighters into thinking there is nothing you should not do to stop them from winning, because they will come and cut off your head. They will rape your men, they will rape your women. The chance of peace developing anytime soon, obviously very low. I'm hardly the first person to point that out, but this is, I feel very bad for the rebel who was mistakenly identified as a pro-government fighter, because he is at the very least trying to help them. Perhaps they should have headbands or something like that. Now, a spokesman for the group that was responsible for the killing, this is Omar al-Qahtani, says, "We call on God to accept Mohammed Faris into his kingdom and to forgive his brothers that sought us of the enemies of God and our enemies." Omar, God has absolutely nothing to do with the conflict in Syria. If he existed and he was interested remotely in what was going on in Syria, he wouldn't be on your side and he wouldn't be on Assad's side. You're both a pack of bloodthirsty savages cutting off each other's heads. God wants nothing to do with that, okay? Maybe Old Testament God. He was into that kind of thing from time to time. But we have a New Testament and, further books produced by other religions since then. I don't think Jesus would have been involved in this. What would Jesus do? Not cut off the heads of your fellow rebels. That's my view.